So let's kick it off with this 57 Chevy two-door hardtop. Now this is a Bel Air, not your likely drag car situation, but this was a drag car in the 60s and 70s, and they brought this thing back. You can see they've added some lettering, the colored windows, it's got a Lakewood 3-point bar in there, the grump lump style hood scoop on there, tilt front end. This thing's got all the cool tricks from the 70s. It's got slotted mag wheels, it's got wheelie bars on there, and he for sure needs them. This thing is rowdy. It's got a small block, tunnel ram and 2.4s, and it's got a 4-speed in it, and he drives this thing super hard. Some of the cool stuff to me are the chrome control arms. You can see it's got a chain that limits the travel on the front suspension. A lot of these parts were added in the 60s, but this isn't just a used up old race car. This thing gets down the track and it puts on a show. Next up is a slick 69 Camaro in Hugger orange. You can see those black hockey stick stripes. You got lettering on the side, but what's really cool about this car is the engine. This is a ZL1 based 427. Now these engines were not really NHRA friendly, but they added a new class just a couple years ago called AAA stock. So this class was made for cars like this. This is a 69 Camaro with a ZL1 spec engine, although you'll see it does have a cast iron block instead of the aluminum, and that's just for durability and price. And we'll see on the quarter panel, it's got lettered on there, second-hand power speed shop. And they have thousands of parts for hot rods, drag cars, anything that goes fast, they got parts for it. And they use a lot of those parts on this car. And this thing is a stout combination. It's got a full cage, it's got some vintage pieces here and there, but for the most part, this is a modern day NHRA legal AAA stock automatic drag car. Here's another 69 Camaro, this time green with white hockey stick stripes, and another big block under the hood. This one's painted completely Chevrolet orange. This car has Chevy Rally wheels on it, little skinnies on the front, and I guess some 8s, maybe 10s on the back. I can't really tell, with some slicks on there. This was a nice, clean looking car, and it ran in the Pro class. Now I didn't get to see this car make any passes, but I love the looks of it. This is a 68 Chevelle Super Sport, and you can see it doesn't have a big scoop, but that hood is fiberglass. It's Zeused on there. And then looking on the inside, it's got a full cage. It's got factory type bucket seats, factory steering wheel, and you look in there, you've got some vintage Sun blue line gauges, and this thing's tubbed. It's got centerline wheels on the back, skinny Kragers on the front. It's a neat combination that kind of blends some 60s elements with some 80s elements to make a really cool looking car. There were lots of NHRA legal cars at the Bowtie Nationals, including this second generation Camaro and the Nova that's sitting behind it here. Some really cool pieces. These things make big time horsepower, and they do it with a really strict rules package. They were a lot of fun to watch. Here's another NHRA legal car. This is a Super Stalker 69 Camaro, green with hockey stick stripes. You can bet there's a big block under that cowl induction hood. This thing was super clean, had a cool look, and always left with the front wheels in the air. Speaking of wheel stands, this 55 Chevy did a massive bumper dragging wheel stand, which unfortunately resulted in busting the oil pan, spinning in its own oil, and tagging the wall. Luckily, everybody was okay, except for the car. This car has a very slick paint job on it. It's going to need some serious attention, but luckily this thing stayed on all fours and didn't get hurt any worse than it did. This was definitely a big wow moment during the Bowtie Nationals, and I didn't take any video of it. I was too busy taking pictures for my Hemmings coverage, but this thing had everybody holding their breath during that big wheel stand and crash. Now this was a super slick 65 Corvette. You can see it's a convertible with the optional hardtop. This is a full-on race car, big tires on the back, full cage, big old snorkel scoop. This thing made big time horsepower and ran deep into the 8s. Here's another cool car from the drag racing pits. This is a 55 Chevy Bel Air two-door sedan, and this thing looks like it could be at the cruise-in or car show area, but it's a full-on race car. You can see that full cage. It's got diamond tucked interior, really cool looking car, two-tone paint job, big time horsepower out of this LS powered 55. Next up is a second generation Camaro, and this is a replica of the Brief Encounter Camaro that was run by Dallas Jones. Now Dallas was a well-known figure at Beech Bend and other tracks in Kentucky, and this Camaro pays tribute to a car he raced in the 70s. Here's another cool drag car. This is a 67 Camaro, and it looks pretty tame from this angle, but you see those huge rear tires. It's got some big meats under the back with some split and widened rally wheels. Under the hood is a big block Chevy, and it's pretty stout. This thing ran way down in the 10s, and it's no stickers, it's no stripes, no fancy anything, no cowl induction hood. This thing looks like it could be running around on the street, but it's out there running low tens. So it's a pretty neat piece. On the inside, it's cool too. It's got factory bucket seats, no aluminum race seats. It's got a factory steering wheel, just a regular interior with the necessary roll cage for this type of speed. A very cool combination. In the car show area, there was plenty of cool stuff too, including this 56 Chevy two-door hardtop. This is a Bel Air, and anytime I see a tilt front end, it gets my attention. But I was not expecting to see an LS motor in this old school looking 56. But right there it is, LS motor with air conditioning, power steering, power brakes. This thing is set up for a nice driver, but it's got some old school details like those Krager SS wheels and of course that flip front end. You guys know I love the Pro Street stuff, and this OBS Chevrolet truck was pretty top-notch build. You can see the wheels are polished perfectly, the old Convo Pro, and then back here you got an aluminum fuel cell, dual nitrous bottles. Inside, this thing is fully customized. You got the flame steering wheel, monster tack, a lot of billet aluminum pieces, and then a very slick paint job with a set of flames, lots of chrome under the hood, very low stance. You can see this thing has had a lot of custom work done, probably done many years ago if I had to guess, just based on the wheel choice and some of the accessories in here. But look at that, it's got a nitrous fogger kit on there, but it's still got the old serpentine setup with AC. It's fully loaded, every option you can think of, with the addition of the Pro Street stuff. So really neat build. Here's a cool street strip style 69 Camaro. You can see it's been tubbed in the back. It's got a roll cage in there, but not anything really crazy. And then under the hood, it's got a 605 cubic inch Dart big block Chevy. This thing has fuel injection. It is a serious setup, and just overall, it's got a real good look. Billet grille up front, real nice low stance, and you gotta love the bright red with white stripes. Now, there were a lot of nice cars in the show area, but this had to be one of the nicest. This is a 52 Chevy 10 Woody. They get that name because the wood on the side of the body is actually just part of the steel stamping on the body. But this car has top-notch details inside and out. You see that interior is beautiful. It's got an LS motor, and this thing was built by Mike Goldman Customs. It is a top-notch build front to back. Now, I have a lot of respect for somebody who would do this level of build on a four-door Nova. This thing was slick, straight, and it had a lot of good pieces on it. So you can see already it's got shaved door handles, it's got a two-tone paint job. Inside of here you got racing harnesses, modern bucket seats, a hand-built console, lots and lots of good pieces. And then of course the wow factor up here is the supercharged and fuel-injected small block Chevy. This thing has got polished billet aluminum everywhere. It is a super clean, super nice build. And this guy spent just as much time on this as he would have on a two-door. I love the fact that he did all this work and all this great detail on a little four-door sedan. Next up is a 63 Chevrolet Biscayne. Now, this is the bottom of the line for Chevrolet's offerings in 1963. It's a two-door sedan, and these things were light. They were stripped down. They didn't have a lot of accessories. But this is what you'd do with it if you were going to go fast. You'd put a 409 with dual quads, check out the big headers, and the really rare air cleaner that's fed by the cowl. That's a really unusual piece. But just back up and look at this thing. Chrome reverse wheels, pie crust slicks on the back. This is a really cool combination. And when you look inside of it, it's bone stock. All red interior. There's not a whole lot to see here. There's no roll bar, no bunch of crazy speed parts or anything. Just a stripped out interior. And then on the outside, there's a few little accessories like the toe tabs on the front. And then, of course, the chrome reverse wheels really stand out on this bright red finish. And then all the signage on this car. A lot of these are decals, but still really cool on a 60s style build. All right, I've shown you some really slick stuff. Now let's get a little bit more ratty. This is a 74 Camaro, and we'll see it's pretty rusty. It's got some issues there. On the inside, though, it's pretty nice. This is not a bad-looking car. It's got a lot of potential. But this thing has got some character for sure. You can see it's got a snorkel scoop up there. It's got centerline wheels. Front end's jacked up in the air just a little bit. And then under the hood, there's a pretty serious big block Chevy under there. So that's a really cool piece. And there's a pretty cool story behind this car, too. It says the guy bought this car brand new in 1974 at Porter Chevrolet in Mount Washington, Kentucky. He sold the body in 1980, found it in a barn in March of 2022, and bought it back after 42 years of this thing being gone. Unfortunately, it's not the original engine that he ran in this car, but it is a 1970 454, so it's got plenty of potential there. Really cool looking build. I love that it's a little bit ratty. So cool that he's got it out here on display. Now here's another ratty 74 Camaro, and these 74 Camaros are pretty unique all by themselves because this is a 1 year only body. This is when the big bumpers came out, the big aluminum bumpers that were reinforced, and they still had the flat back glass. This is before the wraparound glass. So these cars are already kind of unique in that regard. But this one is especially unique. It's a 74 Type LT Z28, and it was purchased brand new from Yenko Chevrolet. And the original owner of this car worked at Yenko Chevrolet for over 40 years, and he had Don Yenko to help him put this car together. So it's got some really cool vintage pieces. It's got fuelie heads on it, a bigger cam, 780 CFM Holley carburetor on it, and it was originally a 350 4-speed car, which is pretty cool by itself. But they put some 8-inch rally wheels on there off of a Corvette, some Mickey Thompson Indy Profile tires, which really look cool on here, big side pipes, you know, period correct stuff for the 1970s. And this thing is still hanging in there. This car was bought just a few years ago, and it's being preserved by its new owner. It says that it'll never be for sale. It's a super cool piece of history. You can see that the body's a little bit ratty. The interior needs some work, but this thing is super cool. It's a great survivor, and it's one of a kind. While I'm on a second generation Camaro kick, let's take a look at this really slick one. This is your typical show car from the 1990s, and I'm saying that based on the Boyd wheels, and I'm saying that based on all of the chrome in here. Look at the chrome accessories. Every piece of this thing is either painted, anodized, or chrome plated, and this thing is just slick front to back. I mean, it is a very, very nice looking car. You can see it's got the original Z28 stripes, the original door moldings. Every piece of this thing looks just like it would have back in the day. Although you can see the paint's starting to age a little bit here on the quarter panel, this car still has a really cool look and takes you back to about 30 years ago. I always like seeing custom Corvettes, and this one is definitely radical. This is a 63 to 67 Corvette. You can see the 67 gills up there, but it's got fender flares, side pipes, 67 Stinger hood, and then it's got that little spoiler on the back, no back bumpers, 6 tail lights, no front bumpers either, no headlights that flip up, they're down in the grill. This is a wild custom car, and it's got a really good look with those big American 200S wheels on there. This is a pretty neat piece. Sitting next to it was a Pro Street Nova. This is a 2-door sedan body, and you can see this thing is sitting really low on the ground, and it's got a really tall engine setup. It's got a big old polish blower, 2 big 4-barrel carburetors, and then of course that giant scoop on top of there that kind of replicates a fuel injector hat. This thing's got some serious details on it inside and out, and of course that stance is pretty amazing. And then next to it is another Pro Street car, this time with a serious combination here. Big block, big billet blower, 2 4s, giant BDS scoop on there. And then we back up and take a look at this thing. It is a slick 69 Camaro. You can see it's got a modern wheel and tire combination on it, beadlocks on the back, red with black stripes. This is a great looking Pro Street car. Now I really love the looks of this 69 Camaro RS SS. You can see those skinny little front wheels, and this thing has got the perfect day 2 combination. So it's Hugger orange, it's got the black vinyl top, black hockey stick stripe, skinny Kragers with bi-sply tires on the front, a little bit bigger Kragers on the back. But look on the inside, it's got bucket seats, console, the old wood grain is still hanging in there, the old shifter, everything's there. This thing is a great survivor. You can see the paint has aged perfectly. This is such a cool looking car. Then when we look under the hood, there's a 350 cubic inch small block in there. It's got some Z28 or LT1 valve covers, some white headers, and not much else. There's not a whole lot of speed parts right here. Just a really cool looking survivor that they've added this cool stance and tire and wheel combo to. Very cool 70s style build. Here's another 69 Camaro and another 70s style build. This time we got silver with black stripes. We still got Krager SS wheels. Looks like some 15x10s and 15x4s up front with some Firestone bi-sply tires. Perfect combo, great stance on this car. And we back up and take a look there. It's got the cowl induction hood. And this thing is badged as a Z28, and I'm believing it. I think this might be a legit DZ302 car. It's got a 4-speed console, bucket seats, black interior that is flawless. This is another great looking 70s street machine. Now here's an old school drag car. This is a 56 Chevrolet 4-door station wagon, and this is a national record holder. Even though now it kind of just looks like a street car, this car has some tremendous drag racing history. You can see it's got Stagecoach, Bowling Green, Kentucky on the quarter glass, and then on the door glass here it's got Wable Competition. Now if you were involved in stock Eliminator drag racing in the 60s and 70s, you knew the name Jim Wable. He was a famous drag racer. He raced one of the Smothers Brothers cars, and he did a lot of great work on these things, and this is a product of that. This car was driven by Dickie Ogles back in the day, and it's still alive today, being driven on the streets of Kentucky. Now, I'm really liking these mild pro street builds. You'll see it doesn't have a huge rear tire on this thing, but it does have bead locks and drag radials. It's got some 17-inch front runners and just a super slick paint job with those Super Sport stripes. It's got a traditional small block Chevy in there with some Holley accessories and a Holley serpentine drive. Very clean build. Here's another clean one, a 55 Chevy 210 two-door sedan. This thing sits just right. It's got some 17-inch front runners on there. They're tucked way up under the fenders. This thing has a show quality paint job, and it has a supercharged LS motor in it. And look at the details under the hood. This thing is spotless. It looks like it's never even been driven. And it's a great combination of modern horsepower in a timeless Chevrolet body. Here we got another 55 Chevy, this time a little more old school. This is a 55 210 two-door sedan, and it's got a fiberglass front end. You can see those velocity stacks sticking up. It's got front runners, straight axle under the front. The back end's been cut out, and it's got slotted mags, Firestone cheater slicks on there, and the body on this thing's pretty straight. It's got flat black paint with blue metal flake on the top. A good combination for an old school gasser. It's got gauges hanging under the dash, 4-speed shifter sticking up out of the tunnel, and a bench seat. Of course, you got some blue tinted windows, some old school decals to finish this thing off. Now here's a rough and rowdy 57 Chevy Pro street car, and look at this, big block Chevy, twin turbos with a crazy looking induction setup that goes right into a carburetor. This is a wild combo, and you see it's multicolored primer, big old tires tucked under the back, roll cage. This thing is ready to go. All right, so that does it for my coverage from the Chevrolet Performance Bowtie Nationals in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Let's finish this video off with some autocross action as well as some drag racing action.